PAM Eastcoast LA. I am your host, Pamela, and today I have the wonderful, awesome musician, trombonist, J.P. Floyd. Ooh, J.P.'s in the house. J.P.'s in the house. Hey, hey.
Turn up.
That's what I'm talking about. And so, J.P. right now, thank you so much for joining us, me. I absolutely love you. You know that. I've seen you on stage several times, and I know right now you are the postmodern jukebox.
Yes, indeed. We are
on
currently in Bumblefuck-ass Ohio. Ohio, trying to drive to Canada.
Canada, huh?
Literally.
Hey.
We are driving to Winnipeg.
Eh? Canada, eh? Canada, eh?
Canada.
Talking about. Now listen. We've known each other for some years, you know, and it's you know,
absolutely,
we go way back. And I mean, and the reason why you're on the show is actually because I absolutely I love you as a person, don't get me wrong, but people don't really understand. People on the show are real, they have real talent. And the thing about JP, you could just literally give him 5 minutes just to tune up, and he's gonna make it happen for you. That's what I know.
You know what I'm saying? We're professional about it. You know what I'm saying? We're professional, man. You gotta be serious about your shit.
That's what I know. I mean, you are a professional. So thank you so much for taking the time. I know you're busy. You're obviously on tour, and I do appreciate that. And before we start, I'd like to talk about Grape Drink Purple Drink Hour. Okay, JP, please tell me about this concoction. Okay, what are we doing here? What do we?
Okay, so what am I about to do? I'm about to sip on this little mezcal. You know, so I love me some mezcal. We got Gone Hill right behind me. She's an amazing artist, musician. She's literally a one.
I already know. How are you? How are you? She could say hi.
Oh yeah, I got the AirPods in, so she can even hear you.
Okay. So we got Grape Drink Purple Drink Hour. Now tell me, because I've never had this before.
So I'm gonna tell you this.
Okay.
I haven't had the Vida in a minute, and especially this one in particular that I'm holding in my hand.
Right.
I haven't had this one, but I wanted to switch it up. But the Vida, from what I remember, was really good mezcal. And like, if you don't know about mezcal, it's a very smoky aged tequila that has like a little bit more of like a wood barrel kind of taste, and almost damn near feel like you just drinking bacon straight out of a glass. And that's why I love it.
Okay, I've never had it, and I have to tell you, when I looked it up, I was like, smoky and sweet, and I was like, this sounds amazing. And then you told me White Claw, right? We got our White Claw today. See, I asked you what flavor. I got the black cherry. You got the mango.
I think I told you mango.
You told me black.
No, I definitely told you mango. No, I did not. Bet money. I bet you money. I bet you a shot.
Oh, God.
I bet you a shot.
It's in my suitcase, but I believe it's this. As far as White Claw, I'm going to shoot for grabbing a blackberry one unless we're out. Read it and weep, folks. Read it and weep, please.
That's okay. But hold on. What do you have? Black cherry, not blackberry. Give me 1 second. Hold on. I'm sorry.
Motherfucker, you got me.
Hold on. Hold on.
That's the only one they had that was black. Tell me, what do I do with these things? What am I doing? I got a glass because I figured we're pouring with ice, no?
So you know what? This is what I'm going to do. So with the mezcal, I'm going to just sip it neat. If you want to drink the mezcal on the rocks, you can.
Okay.
But if anything, if you are crazy like myself,
okay,
because you know what I'm saying, we only live one life, you know what I'm saying, you gotta just enjoy yourself. We're gonna shotgun this, and then we're gonna sip on the mezcal.
We sip on,
you know what I'm saying? Oh yeah, no concoction. This is just, you know what I'm saying, this is how you get the ball moving. We're gonna go ahead, shoot this motherfucker, and then we're gonna sip on this motherfucker. You know what I'm saying?
I was hoping that I was mixing it, but no.
Okay. So you tell me this. Do you want to take a sip of this, chug this, and then sip this?
Okay.
Or do you want to just chug this and then just go ahead and just sip on it?
I want to try this.
Okay. So you just have a fresh palate.
And we're you said we're shotgun, so it's one and done.
Oh, absolutely. One and done, my love.
Got this. I got this. Let me tell you, I haven't had no Grape Drink Purple Drink today. I am off. I had my cafe. I did some errands. And here I am. I'm going to try this wonderful. It is called Del Maguey Vida, right?
Mm-hmm. This one is still the same brand, but this is not the Vida, but this is still the same brand. They make almost like 7 to 8 different versions.
Oh,
so
okay,
I guess
okay.
it's different flavors and things.
Got
so
it.
yeah, this is all in the same
San
family.
Luis del Rio.
Mm-hmm.
That's mine. And it says it is imported and made here in New York, actually.
Oh, wow. See? Well, look at you.
Alexa, shut up. Nobody called that bitch. That bitch she wants to be involved.
Yo, that's
this bitch is about to tell me where this is from. Ear hustling asshole. Anyway, let's try this.
So I just wanted to say this. I'm never above you, never below you. I'm always right beside you. Cheers to you.
Yasu! To you, my friend.
Hello. Do you taste the smoky? Do you taste the smoky?
That's what I'm saying. And it's in my esophagus as we speak. It's not going anywhere.
Oh, yes.
I feel like I could start singing right now.
Well, it feel like summertime shy. It probably feel like summertime shy. He's over in Jackson Park.
All right, so
fuck up.
This is to you and to your success and to your overcoming your struggles and being a better person and being the man you are today.
I appreciate you, my love. I appreciate that so much.
And where were you?
I was like, brother definitely been coming a long way. So gratitude. I really appreciate that. And my cheers is the complete opposite of that. Up to it, down to a real niggas round to it. We do it because we used to a drink, motherfucker drink. Come on.
Yasu.
Woo! Everybody on camera, just know I chugged a cold ass White Claw.
Oh my God, it's so cold. Oh, excuse me. So, oh my God, this thing is, it's sultry and it's, tell us about yourself. Tell me a little bit about your background.
So, my name is J.P. Floyd from the west side of Chicago. Currently on tour with Postmodern Jukebox. I am 30 years old from the west side of Chicago. I am a Pisces. I am a trombone player professionally. I'm a producer, songwriter, musician. I'm a spiritual counselor for the world. You know what I'm saying? Pope John Paul III, that's what they call me in the streets. You know what I'm saying? I'm just me. Solo cup, sipping, mezcal, motherfucking turning up, motherfucking goddamn blah, blah, blah. That's your boy.
Has Bette Midler called you crazy legs?
Yes, indeed.
You remember?
I miss her too.
I know you do.
I miss her too. She was the fucking shit, but she definitely called me crazy legs.
Did call you crazy legs, and you used to do that on stage because I was there when you did that. You moved your little legs with the trombone. So tell me how many. So I know you've worked with a lot of people, and what do I mean by that? You've worked with some really big name people to the point where you have a Grammy Award with Chance the Rapper. Is that correct?
I am a 4-time Grammy nominated trombonist for 2-time Grammy Award winning trombonist.
Nice. So is that with Chance or is that with 4 different people?
So the first Grammy Award was with Chance. And then the second one, I played on Anderson .Paak's album, that Ventura, that won the best R&B at the Grammys a couple years back.
Nice.
And then the other 2 nominations was I played on John Legend's Christmas album. So that was nominated for, I think, Best Contemporary. And then also played on Mac Miller's last album, God Rest His Soul. And that was nominated a couple years back for like Best Rap Album. So 4 times Grammy nominated, but 2-time Grammy Award winner.
Baby, that is so awesome. Congratulations. You already know I'm very, very supportive of you and involved and I absolutely. I just want I want you to continue. I love when you told me that you were working with Postmodern Jukebox. I absolutely love them because what they do is they take they cover all these songs and they turn it into like very chill. I would call it like a coffee house type of vibe, you know. So
I'll say it varies. I was like, because you never know which one you might get. So it's like you definitely got those, and then you got some of like even when you saw Goon Hill, it was just like hers is just like just smack, just hitting you in the face, like boom, you won't even expect it. So you never know what you might get.
I remember being like in 6th or 7th grade, I joined band, and
Right.
I promise you, on my dad, the instrument that I chose was the trombone. I'm not joking. I thought it's such an interesting. I don't know what attracted me. I swear to God, I picked up the trombone, and I played that for like a few days because obviously every instrument has its own notes, has its own way. So I remember like, you know, bop, 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 you know, and the problem is that my mom couldn't really pick me up and take me because it was too much. You know, she was just too busy doing other things. So I quit band. But if I had stuck with band, I swear to God, I had picked up the trombone. That was my instrument. And so
That's awesome.
what makes you, or what drew you to play the trombone?
So it's damn near similar like you. Like you said that you started band and you wanted to play everything else, but that was damn near what was left almost.
No,
That
it
was the same
wasn't
thing with
left.
me.
It wasn't left for me. It was like, you know, you get to pick and they ask you, you know, and this is obviously in the 90s. So it was like, you know, what do you know, you see the saxophone, and the saxophone comes in 2 or 3 different sizes, right? Because at that time you don't even know what an alto or a tenor or any, you know, you don't know what's that. You just see a saxophone, baritone, you don't know. You see drums, you don't know, you know what, even what it's called. You see a big guitar, you're like, is that a big guitar? You're like, no, that's a cello, you know, like, you know. And I grew up with Greek music. So my mom used to always sing just Greek songs. So the only instrument I actually really knew was the bouzouki, which is a mini, it's a guitar. It's the Greek version of a guitar, which is like, this is my little bouzouki that, you know, I brought from Greece. Is
that almost like similar to
like
the instrument that they have in Armenia?
That's a toy, right? Exactly. You know, all those countries have, but it's, you know, round. It's got 12 strings actually. And so, and it's a hard instrument. And that was really the only instrument I really knew, other than like, oh, okay, I've seen the drums on TV, or I've seen and I'm like, oh, I really like that one. And that's what happened. I really like the trombone. There's something about the trombone. I don't know. It's just like I don't know. I was very attracted to it. So what is it with you?
And for me, it was like I didn't, you know, grow up in like a music household, even though I grew up with, you know, music around me too. But my mom's was like playing Smokey Robinson. My sister listening to Mary J. Blige. My brother listening to Crucial Conflict. So I'm listening to that shit. And then when I got to elementary school, we were fortunate enough to have like musical instruments and things like that. And it was like a band program. It was a part of the curriculum. So it was just like band was. So literally everybody in my class was playing trumpet or cornet at the same time, or playing the clarinet, or playing the flute, or playing the drum pad. But in 5th grade, that's when you got a chance to pick whatever instrument. I wanted to either do trumpet or saxophone like everybody else. But everybody took all the fucking instruments. So then my black ass only had the damn trombone to play. Like my and God rest his soul too. My band director, Mr. Smith, he was just like, play that. I was like, what the fuck is that? You know what I'm saying? Like, he just said, play that.
Is it just play that?
But just play that. But this was still before the trombone. I started to play the instrument. It's called the euphonium, or the baritone horn. So it almost looks like a baby tuba. So it's still like the shape of like the tuba. You have the 3 valves like right in front of you, like this, the big round bell that's a kind of above you. So I started on the euphonium. But then like in 7th grade, we didn't have enough trombone players. And my band actually had a valve trombone. So it's still a trombone, but it just had valves on it.
Okay.
So then I started on that. And then when I went to high school, Lincoln Park High School, I got into there, you know, into the music department. But my teacher was just like, you're not playing that half-ass instrument. That half-ass instrument was the valve trombone, because the trombone, you're supposed to slide it out. So everybody else is
Absolutely.
doing that, and my ass is over here just lazy, just. So she literally told me in 8th grade, you're not playing that half-ass instrument at this school. You're coming here, but you're not playing that half-ass instrument. And that's when I had to learn how to play the fucking trombone. So it just kind of came natural to me. Like I could still play the horn, but it still took me some time to figure out, okay, now I got to slide everything like everybody else has been doing. I had to figure out how to do that shit, but I could physically play the horn. When you learn, it's 7 positions, but then also too, like once you kind of get older and you start to learn more about the trombone, right, even though you have all these different positions, there's still certain notes that can kind of play a little bit sharper or a little bit flat. Sharp means that's going a little bit above the note. Flat means you're going a little under the note. You want to get something that's just right. So even with it being 7 positions, you're basically playing on a tuning slide. So meaning that even though you know this could be 2nd position, you still got to adjust and use the ear to make sure that the notes sound good. Because you could play some shit and it sounds horrible because it's out of tune. So that's the one cool thing with the trombone. It's always engaging.
So what made you say, you know what? I'm gonna go to school. You went to school?
If I'm 30, I'm like I told you, I'm 30. So you remember like the band I was playing with kids these days?
Of course, I have the CD.
That was probably even more of the spark because I was still doing like the band shit, like playing like in some jazz bands and some orchestras in Chicago. But when we started doing kids these days, and then we were actually touring at like, I was the oldest person, but that was like the spark of doing it professionally. It wasn't like I just was like, let me do it. We started kids these days my senior year of high school.
Right.
But they were all sophomores. Okay. I'm always 2 years older than them. So by the time I was like maybe 19 or 20, that's when I dropped out of college. And then that's when then they just graduated high school. And then we was just like, fuck it, we gonna just do this kids these days. So probably about 19 or 20 was just like my introduction of just like, I wasn't even thinking of it as being professional. It was just like, this is what we want to do. You know what I'm saying? Like we're traveling, like we're making this music, we're creating things, we're playing these festivals. We're learning from so many other different groups that we get a chance to talk to. If it was like a band called Tune Yards or Trombone Shorty or St. Vincent or whoever. We're just like, now it's just like, or even like the Roots, because everybody always called us like the baby Roots. So it's just like, if we're, you know what I'm saying? Because so it's like, if we're like,
didn't you guys open up for? Who did you open up for?
Yeah, I mean, we opened up for a few different people, but we got a chance to we got a chance to do the Roots picnic, and we did like the Roots like holiday festival like the same year.
I remember you guys being called the Baby Roots, but it was because
they always call us the Baby Roots.
Baby Roots, yes, but that's because you guys opened up for them or you collaborated. It was something with the Roots. I remember that.
Well, yeah, because we did those 2 things with the Roots, but it was honestly too because of just like you literally had the guitars, you had bass, you had drums, you had 2 horns, like you just had like the real live instrumentation. On top of that, you did have a rapper, you did have a singer, you did have 2 singers, a male vocalist and a female vocalist.
You had the male and
so them singing the instrument, so them singing all of our different instruments and even just our style, it was just like, it was hip hop, it was grunge, it was rock, it was ska, it was everything.
How did you guys get those gigs those years? And then I'll ask you, how do you get your gigs these years? Because those times, you're talking over 10 years ago. Instagram wasn't popular. Over 10 years ago?
Well, yeah, it wasn't. I'll say this. You are right to a certain degree. It wasn't popular, but it still existed. Your Facebook existed. So it wasn't like it was still brand new. It still was like, it was definitely heavily influenced. So we used to literally, like as far as kids these days, if we had shows in Chicago, all of our friends that we had on Facebook, whether we were in communication with them or it was just like the people that you just befriend just because of the fuck of it, we would literally just message people like directly, be like, yo, come to our show, come to our show, come to our show, come to our show, come to our show.
How do you get the gig? How do you get that gig?
Well, That's well, one like our guy Liam that played in our band.
Okay.
Before we had like a lawyer, before we had like a publicist, before we had like a manager and things like that, it was still kind of like word of mouth things. It was just like a family friend of this person or this person has this venue or has a connection with this venue, and he's aware that we have a band and we have a time slot to do this. So it's still just our hustle now. From this little connection, we can use the hideout. We can use like one of our first shows with this at this spot called the June Bar in Wicker. But it was like we could use that venue, but then it's just like, who the fuck are we bringing to the shows? Now it's up to us. So now we're being still kids. We're like, let's utilize social media. Let's utilize Twitter. Let's literally blow up people's fucking inboxes and be like, yo, come to our show. So that was like the young aspect of us.
So today now, since, okay, so before you actually, now you get, obviously you've worked with Bette Midler, you've worked with obviously Chance, you've worked with all these great people, right?
Frank Ocean.
How did you go about getting those gigs then? Because now people want to watch you. Before you had to ask your friends and your family and have them. How do you go about getting those gigs? Is it just Instagram? Is it, I mean, like your beginning of that? Like if you had to lead somebody, if I was a musician, and I'm not a musician, but if I was and I asked for your help, what would be the platform for me to use? Is there, just like through an agency? Yeah, just, email?
So honestly, I'll say this, and I've said this before, even like people that's like literally my peers that could be younger. For me, like this is still going back to kids these days. When I was with kids these days, we played Coachella around the time we were going to like break up. But we didn't let Coachella know that we were going to break up, because if we did, they wouldn't allow us to play. So in between us doing Coachella, our managers at the time had connections with Frank Ocean. He was doing auditions, just to, hire people in his band. Me and Nico that played in kids these days, he was the trumpet player. He goes by Nico Siegel, and he plays a lot with Chance for the listeners. But me and him, long story short, booked that gig. And then from there, that kind of just opened up the web of communication and networking. So long story short, I would just say, if anything, with somebody just knowing who you are, what you can contribute, your vibes and everything, your work ethic, and all of that, it's just like, it's the web of networking. So you can utilize your social medias. You could try to hire an agent to try to get you some things. But it's like, there's never like just one pathway to try to just get what you want. So it's just the web of just networking.
More present,
It's, yeah, absolutely. It's way more present, but it's
I
still
didn't think
just
Facebook was going to take off the way it did. I didn't think Google was going to take off the way it did. I didn't think Amazon was going to take off the way it did. I mean, think about all these big, these names that we utilize. Who would have thought? I mean, look at stock. Google started out at, I don't know, $20 or something crazy. You look at Google now, it's like $3,000 a share. I mean, forget about it. Or Amazon started out small.
And you see, even with Tesla now, just like you see Tesla is $1 trillion fucking business now too.
Hey,
all of this shit is just like, you never know.
You had Tesla years ago and you got them at $30.
Or Bitcoin, and I was like, I never, heard about that shit until it started to get popular. All of that stuff.
Bitcoin. I'm like, what's Bitcoin? What is this Bitcoin about? And literally, people are making crazy money off it. And I'm like, God bless. I'm still working.
You got your NFT. Said I'm still trying to learn about that shit too. The whole NFT business too. That's a whole nother little field. But still going back to what you said, it was still just kind of just networking. And like, even with me, like when I did the Bette Midler tour, which was dope that I got that, even that call, and then finally getting that tour, that kind of like helped me out in LA, because my first year in LA, I was just only around Chicago people. I wasn't like going out there hustling. I wasn't really meeting people. I did the BET Soul Train Awards, the like later part of like my first year in LA, which was 2014. And then I met the saxophone player that I used to play with, Stevie Wonder. And then months after, he randomly hit me up and told me about the Bette Midler audition. Did the audition, long story short, got that gig. but then just networking with those musicians and them just hanging around with me for like almost 4 months and just knowing my work ethic, then they kind of referred me to, oh yeah, we got this one gig, got this one gig. And that's just how the shit works. You just still be you, no matter what gig that you do. You still have your different challenges and things like that, but it's just like I just keep it consistent. I'm just me. I still just work my ass off on whatever the fuck that they want from me, and still just a good vibe. And then just from there, with just people just enjoying who you are as a person, as well as just as a performer, as a musician, as whatever the fuck that you need to be. Then sky's the limit. Double cheers again. Come on now. There we go.
Ask you, my friend. Tell me, what outlets would you tell people today to use to help themselves get promoted?
Everything. Literally, let's let me see. Let's start with oh god. Can I show this to the Chip? Okay, so
it's in the chat.
Chip, because I'm on, this is my friend Pam right here. This is a little podcast.
Hi,
we got Paint and Sip with Chip right here. Show this damn video. I'm gonna show you a video of our boy Reggie motherfucking Miller. Just hold on, zooming in a little bit more.
Let's see if I can get it.
Let me see. Okay, I see him.
This man literally has a Burger King crown. A Burger King cardigan. Okay, so like I said, a Burger King crown, a Burger King cardigan
with the fucking
with the little like Burger King patch right by the nipple. And he just smoking a goddamn
here's
cigarette.
Like the first, that's that. And then now we got him in the BK Lounge.
Good old Reggie Miller.
I call him Reggie motherfucker. Like, and it's like, and I like, especially on this tour, I call him different Reggies. Like he was drunk as fuck one night, so he was down Julio Reg. We had Mezcal Reg. We got this is Reg right here. We got BK Rob
Reg. Look at this guy.
Look at this Reg. Look at this motherfucking guy. This like these are the musicians that you hire to go on your tour to represent your brand. Reggie motherfucker.
Damn, I wish I would have continued on playing the trombone. I mean, damn.
Then you can get you a
played the trombone and had this hair and called it a day. This crazy looking girl.
You know what I'm saying? Honestly, I'm gonna say this honestly for the listeners, because like I said, I told you before, I don't have all of the answers, but I would just say just having self-confidence in yourself, and this is something that I'm still trying to strive for too. You literally have all of the fucking platforms in the world to utilize.
Okay.
If you want to just promote yourself, if you want to do whatever, but it's just like you got to have the confidence to just release the shit. Everything is there. I don't have to really tell you anything. You know what the fuck you need to use. You can make your website. Go on Twitter. Go on Facebook. Go on Instagram. Go on Twitter. There's a musicians app called Jam Card. Like you can go on SoundCloud. Like you could do everything. There's another website called TuneCore. Okay. This is for any listeners and things like that, where even for you, Pam, if you were just like, I want to put a song out, then you could literally put that song out, pay like maybe $9.99 or $19.99, and literally it's almost like a subscription base. And with that $19.99, you're basically streaming that song or that project or that album on every single musical platform. And you don't need a label to do that. You can distribute that shit yourself. So then it's just like the word of mouth and just your own self-promotion to let people know and let them be aware of your project.
Okay.
But I would just say there's so many, but it's still so many platforms that anybody could use. But I feel like people need the confidence. And I'm talking to myself too. It's like you need the confidence to just be like, fuck it, let me just release it.
Let's talk about your confidence real quick. So you started a clothing line then?
I'm still in the process of working on it. I wanted to call it like Say Jean Pierre. It's still a work in process, honestly. Like it was something like I had an idea a few years back.
What's the name?
I make a Say Jean Pierre.
How do you spell that?
So it's like, damn, let me remember how I spelled it.
Let me remember. Hold on a second.
Don't do drugs, kid.
I think it's people, please don't chug White Claw. This is important. According to federal surgeon.
Public service announcement. It's backwards, but it was like, I guess literally on here I
Saint?
spelled
It's
it
not.
Saint.
Yeah, it looks like Saint, but
Yeah, so it was like SAINT, but then John, not JOHN, but JEAN, like Jean,
Jean, right?
and then Pierre,
Yeah.
PIERR.
Where do you get that? Where did that come from?
So I remember it was the one and only time I was in Quebec City, and I felt like the festival ground that we were playing, as well as the hotel, was on Saint Jean. That's all they kept saying, Saint Jean, Saint Jean, Saint Jean, Saint Jean.
Okay.
And I was just like, yo, that actually sounds kind of dope, because you already know I'm John Paul.
Right.
So I was like, I just added the Saint right in front of it, Saint Jean. So
Right.
like Saint John Paul. But I was just like, because I always call myself the Saint. You know what I'm saying? Goddamn right, it's sipping chip with dip, whatever the fuck your name is. Sip with chip.
I love you, Sagapao. Please send the band my love. This is from the Greek. This is from your Greek friend. This is Pamela Kalas and J.P. Floyd. We are out.